Welcome to podcast on civil services organized by Vivek IAS Career Academy. So episode 1 we have our guest Vivek Atray sir, who needs no introduction. He is a former DC, ex-IAS officer, TEDx speaker, author. Sir, it's a privilege to have you on the first episode. We couldn't ask for a better guest. So
Thank you Vivek. Actually, it's our own podcast, Vivek IAS Career Academy, where he is also Vivek, I am also Vivek. So that also helps. And I must say to all the UPSC aspirants, right in the outset, you need a lot of Vivek while going forward. Good sense, good judgment. So today I am the guest, but we'll be getting more guests on this show with Dr. Vivek Rana. So all the best. Go ahead.
Alright sir, you often advocate that it's not about marks. Life is about making a mark. So can we say civil service as a career can be a good option if someone wants to make a mark in society?
I think so. I think civil services has a very good scope for making a mark in society, because if you're serving the civil services, that means you're serving the society, you're serving the nation. If you look at the armed forces, it's a direct service to the nation because they're defending the nation. In the civil services, again, it's a direct service to the society and the nation. Now you have your own jurisdiction in every civil services department. But to get into the civil services, you need to be intelligent, you need to have good study brains, you need to get marks also. But ultimately, life is not about marks, life is about making a mark. Yeah.
You have already made a mark in multiple domains, so it's a right.
You have also made a mark. All these aspirants who are trying to make a mark in the civil services, they already have some potential. They already made a mark in some studies, etc., maybe in sports also, in other fields. So UPSC is one of the parameters or benchmarks of success, but not the only one. Yeah.
Sir, congratulations once again on your 6th book, Not So Randomly Yours. The title is quite interesting. I have gone through few chapters.
Thank you.
But I would like to ask, like in civil services, are transfers random or they are systematically planned for good governance?
It's a very good question, because the word random is very important here. I think government doesn't work randomly for sure, but it is basically not always working through a system of strategy and planning. There are decisions which are taken by any state government or even the central government, which are based on likes and dislikes at times. But that is part of the civil services, you can say, nature. Because an officer who joins the civil services, transfer is a part of his or her life and career, and transfer is not in his or her hands. Sometimes you can say that my request is to be posted to Chandigarh or Allahabad or whatever it is. Nowadays it's called Prayagraj. But the point is that you can say on compassionate grounds I may be transferred here. But normally the politician will decide where you will go. But I must say that I was lucky to get postings in IT, for example, because I was with an electronics engineering background. Computer science had just started when I was in engineering colleges. So when I went to Chandigarh administration, I got the charge of director IT only because I had an engineering background. So it's not always that whims and fancies are there. There are logical decision making and sometimes not so logical.
Should there be stability of tenure for civil servants if we fixed uniformly, or you feel that the way things are, they are better for government?
No, ideally they should be. You see, in the civil services, we have a norm. Actually, there is a norm somewhere written that 2 to 3 years a person should be in a particular post. If you look at a tenure even of a chief secretary or a DGP, it should be for 2 to 3 years, because then only he or she can make a mark. A deputy commissioner in a district also, ideally, 2 years should be there at least. But practically speaking, it is about 1 year, as I have seen. Let us say the average is 1 year.
Because the longest posting you had, sir?
Longest posting was pretty long, it was about 6 years.
Oh, right.
But that was because of the Chandigarh administration, and I was director IT for 6 years and director public relations also. And I was SDM Kalka in Haryana also for 3 years. So state civil services, when I was in the state civil services of HCS, then I had more tenures. But in IAS also, I had longest tenures of 1 to 2 years when I was there, which are considered to be longest. But in the army, if you compare Air Force and Army and Navy, they will have a strict rule that this person cannot be transferred before 2 years or 3 years, or he's going on promotion. So it is better planned, let us say, in the defense services
as compared to
the civil services.
Sir, you have almost served more than 2 decades in governance and public life. Any interesting anecdote which you have not shared yet in your books? Because
Okay, let me share something which I have not shared.
Yes.
So there was a industrial event being organized by the government of Haryana, and it was known as Happening Haryana.
Okay.
So I was the director of industries, and I was on my way out. I had already completed my tenure as director, as deputy commissioner of Panchkula, and I had been posted director of industries. But I was planning to resign, take VRS. However, it was a posting where I had to fulfill my role, and I was very busy with my director of industries role. And the government told me and the department and my boss that you have to organize this Happening Haryana event. We must have proposed it also. Industrial fair where exhibition, conference on the state of Haryana and the opportunities to be, carried out. Now, we did pretty well, I think, because it was a huge event and participation of countries, of states, of the industry, of exhibitors, of speakers. And it was a big affair in Gurgaon, and the whole of the government of Haryana was almost involved. The chief minister, the governor, everybody came as chief guests, and central ministers, and a lot of, I remember Mr. Manor Parikar and because I was in the hosting department, I was in his cart, which was going in a golf cart in the hotel from one place to another. So I was talking to him. He was the defense minister of India. So we had big personalities at that time. However, when that was successful and everything went well and a lot of MOUs were signed, and unfortunately an agitation took place in the state of Haryana after 1 month of that Happening Haryana, which kind of wiped out all those efforts. Because that agitation, not to say the reasons for it, but that agitation lasted for quite a while, and the name of the state was sullied by that. So things sometimes don't work out as per
we planned, despite your best.
You're planning, but something goes wrong. And in a dynamic environment in the public life, things will go wrong. But you have to keep planning and executing. So this is an interesting incident which I have not yet shared.
Alright. Thank you for giving our podcast something new for which we can cherish for a long time. Also, sir, a lot of civil servants, whenever we take interview, they have one standard reply: they want to serve the nation. What are the 3 right reasons why civil service students should opt for a career in civil service?
Well, it's a very good question, and as you know, we have been taking mock interviews for UPSC candidates who have qualified for the interview, the personality test. They have cleared the mains, and as you know, Akansh Dhul, All India rank number 3, and many others have made it to the civil services after our mock interview. So we helped them in their process. Even the SDM of Panchkula, Chandrakant Kataria in Ex-IAS, before he came, we interviewed him here itself. I think the 3 answers why do you want to join the civil services should be like this. Number 1 should be that you want to serve. Service is the key. If I want a car and I want power and I want status, that cannot be the goal. Right. The family may be happy that I have I'm an IPS officer, I have a uniform, etc. But cannot be the goal. So I think that is number 1. Number 2 is that you have to be looking forward to the ground level and grassroots work. So you're serving the nation, you're serving the society, but in the meantime, you should be willing to work at a grassroots level. I remember one of my colleagues, Mr. Chandrasekhar, he was DC of Kethel. He started that Sarkar Aapke Dwar, an overnight village stay.
Yes.
So the deputy commissioner and department, they stayed in the village, which used to happen in earlier time. I never did it as DC, but I used to go to villages a lot. So the third thing I would say is that you should be prepared to be multidimensional. Diversity is there. You can't be only in agriculture. As a civil servant, you might be in IT, you may be in tourism, you may be in cooperation. As an IPS officer also, you may be in modernization, then you may be in law and order, crime investigation, then you may be in intelligence. So civil service is very diverse. IRS officers, they get a lot of diversity also. So very, that's the 3 things. Yeah.
And sir, out of integrity, leadership and empathy, if we have to choose one only, which is the ideal trait which current civil servants should definitely imbibe?
No, integrity has to be number 1, because you see, if we are working truthfully and honestly, then only with ethics. Ethics is an exam also, a paper in the exam, and only then the civil services can be believed. But leadership is also linked to integrity, and I would say that right decision making, dynamic decision making, empathetic your third word is empathy. All three are extremely important.
Extremely. Because we often see you advocating emotional intelligence, so I was expecting.
These three are extremely important.
And out of the three stages, prelims, mains, interview, which one stage you feel is more challenging because you have interviewed so many candidates?
As you know, the number of people who are eliminated at the prelim stage are the maximum. I would say it should be that the interview is the most challenging, but it's not that way. Well, you're being eliminated at the very first stage. If you cross the first stage, only then
you have the opportunity.
So I feel the numbers are lesser after the prelims. That means the mains has, let's say, 20,000 candidates. So you still have a chance. We are competing with those 20,000. No, you're not competing with an absolute pass mark.
Yes.
So your toughest stage is the prelims. And once you reach the personality test,
things will fall.
You have a big chance. Very few people, half the people are cleared after that. So there the chance of 50%, which is huge chance.
Alright. And sir, any one civil service reform which you feel that it should be implemented, or you feel that it can be tried at least, or you are content?
I have talked about a few in my writings. One of them is mentorship. I think some mentorship exists in the police as well as IAS, it is there. But young officers are often at sea. They don't understand how to handle this situation. Some MLA is putting the pressure, some businessman is putting some pressure, some other people are putting pressure, family pressure. And he's a youngster of, let's say, or she's a youngster of 30 years old. Now that 30-year-old needs mentoring. Now the chief secretary or the DDP or the commissioner may be very busy, and officially they are not told that you have to, they are supposed to mentor, no doubt. But the chief secretary may not give an appointment to a SDM level officer for more than 5 minutes or 2 minutes. And commissioner also may not give he may or she may, but may not be that receptive. I think mentorship is one. Number two, I think the recruitment process of UPSC especially, the interview should be longer. They should be multi-dimensional aspects of the personality test. The army takes at least 5 days to select candidates after the exam. So psychometric, group discussion, physical fitness, interview, etc., etc., etc. The whole personality has to be selected, because selecting somebody for 35 years. So there your ethics cannot be tested to that extent, but somewhat
15-20 minutes, difficult to judge integrity, or you could say empathy.
On the lighter side, I know it's a civil services podcast, but when a boy and girl are dating and they are told by the parents to go and spend some time in the cafe, so the girl or the boy also should see how this other person speaks to the waiter, speaks to the cleaner, not how he speaks to her or him. Well, there you are at your best behavior. But are you behaving nicely with the other people? So civil service officers, when you see them in the interview, they are at the best behavior. But how is he behaving?
That's a very great point. Sir, and what about social media? Is it boon or a bane for current civil service?
It's a boon if you use it rightly. I would say that, I often say that, youngsters who are following civil service officers, some young officers have 4 million followers, 10 million. I say good. No harm. Of course, they should not post their personal pictures or, but they should post their, where they inspire. Giving a speech, going to some office.
They should have a separate page for...
At that time, it was not that prevalent. I resigned 9 years ago. Instagram, I was not doing much. Facebook, I was there. I had a separate page for my, page, and one I had for my personal. But I think it should be personal and official should be divided. And I think they should have followers, because if youngsters are following gangsters or villains, it's better to follow IAS, IPS, army officers,
they can
sports
learn a lot.
Let them follow.
At least they will get to know.
Government should allow young officers to post a reasonable amount of posts.
Currently we are seeing Labasna is imposing some restrictions, or
some restrictions can be there, but overdoing the restriction is not right. You should allow them to become role models. There is no harm. But they should not become models.
And sir, current decade will be remembered as decade of artificial intelligence. How do you see artificial intelligence in public sphere or governance? Will it help play a role of a catalyst, or it will be a barrier, or it could even threat to a governance?
I think artificial intelligence is a good facility, but it has to be tempered, it has to be balanced, it has to be utilized by human beings sensibly. When the brain is not being used, I was reading something about a Stanford graduate who's doing PhD. But when this senior person is talking to that Stanford graduate, he or she is not able to articulate the thoughts, and communication is not a problem. It is the brain which is dull. And the brain is dull because too much of AI is
too
being
much
used.
AI we are not using.
Vivek, if you look at us, I have to reduce my own screen time. I want to, my phone tells me I've used the phone for 24 hours per week, which is 4 hours per day, which is a lot. So I have to reduce it. And I have to, then my brain will become dull. So children and youngsters have to be balanced in AI usage. I think personalities of human beings have to be better in terms of confidence and communication. Only then we will do better.
All right, sir. On concluding note, any motivational quote for aspirants who are watching this podcast, or some concluding remarks which you would like to?
No, so I must say first of all, Dr. Vivek Rana, who is here with me, he is a mentor to many civil services aspirants. It is a pleasure working with you. And this podcast which you have started is a great initiative. I think many people will benefit from this podcast. Plus, I would give one motivational aspect that, life is a journey, and life is something which cannot be taken for granted. If you get into the civil services, it's great. If you don't get into civil services, Amitabh Bachchan said, and Harivansh Rai Bachchan, his father said, man ka ho to acha, man ka na ho to aur bhi acha. Now this is very difficult for us to understand. But God and the divine, maybe they have some other plans for you. You work hard, do well, and do your best. Second point, if you get into the civil service or you get a job of your choice or a relationship of your preference, don't take it for granted. Value every moment and respect the other person and the persons, and then only your life will be meaningful. Plus, find that empathy for others and find that connect with the divine. Very important.
Thank you so much, sir, for your precious time and sharing your thoughts straight from heart, as you always do. And this was not so random, so we like to conclude on a positive note. So students, kindly stay connected for more guests, and we will like to share our experience and UPSC interesting anecdotes which will inspire you further.
Thank you very much.
All right, sir, thank you.
Thank you.